We are back with another episode of the League of the Genuine Conversations, the only show on the planet that has conversations about the subject of counterfeits. This is a great week for us here on the League of the Genuine. We are celebrating an achievement, which is we have been declared a YouTube partner. I think people out there are appreciating the service, the information, the content that we are giving. But this is all thanks to you who tune in every Friday and be part of this big conversation. So we continue our programming with more discussions on the subject of counterfeits. Today we have somebody important in the area of trade and business, the new chairman of Kampala City Traders Association, Mr. Thaddeus Nagenda. You're most welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Why do you have such a difficult name? Thaddeus. I've not heard of this.
He was supposed to be a priest. And then, it's a serious Catholic name, Thaddeus. Or
Thaddeus.
Tadeo. So that's why when you localize it, someone can easily memorize it. Tadeo. But it's Thaddeus.
And you are chairman of KACITA, yeah. But I've seen you now in 1 month. I have seen you're always dressing sharp suits. Are you really supposed to be a businessman or a lawyer or you're a sharp dresser?
The fact is that I'm a businessman and then also an educationist. And a journalist. So we're trying to diversify. And the campaign we are selling to the business community that diversification is the way to survive in Uganda. So not just getting the eggs all in one basket.
So as a journalist, can you tell us who is winning in Ukraine now? Give us the latest.
Currently, we are analyzing the situation. It's so hard to predict currently, but I hear Russia is leading.
But you saw something. There's something I've been seeing on social media. I think it was fake news or real. Somebody was speaking and saying so many people are dead, and behind there were dead bodies lined up covered in polythene, and one dead body was uncovering itself. You saw that?
So somewhere, yes. But the fact is that
was that correct, or that was just?
I'm not sure. But we are getting a lot about updates about the Ukraine-Russian invasion. A lot. And by the Ugandans almost have taken serious interest about the war in Ukraine than even here in Congo, which is totally affecting us directly, because the government now is expanding its expenditure and we are in economic recovery.
But and building roads.
Yes, and then also they have to stabilize the security of our country. But you find that Ugandans are not interested about this, but they are so much interested in getting updates about Ukraine-Russian war.
Yes. But is this Ukraine-Russia thing, does it matter to us? Does it affect us?
Yes, somewhere it can matter, because you had the president saying that the inflation which is affecting Ugandans currently is because of this war. And when we are trying to see,
do we get any goods from Russia and Ukraine and
currently our businessmen they don't. But I hear most of the wheat, and then
the Russia, wheat, yes.
Well, Russia is one of the leading fuel
producers. Even Ukraine. Ukraine, I think, is the fifth largest producer of grain.
Somehow it can affect us, but we think that the government should make more research and consultations about the inflation than rushing with conclusion that what is affecting the maize prices, the oil prices, cooking oil, is because of Russia. Because we don't import cooking oil from Russia.
We make our own.
We make our own. Just even the posho, we make our own, the beans, but all the prices are increasing. And by the way, we started to feel the effect of the inflation even before the war. So the government decided to say that because of the restriction of COVID testing, but then the trucks were cleared. But you find that the prices keep on increasing. So we as KACITA and our partners, we decided to petition Parliament to urgently address this concern because we find that...
So you're saying it's an artificial thing that is
Yeah,
causing
that's
this
what we-
price
that's what
increase.
we are- that's what
It's
we are
not a
thinking.
genuine reason that
That's what
because
we are
of
thinking.
COVID tests,
That's what we think.
somebody is faking somewhere.
Yes, because even like when we discussed with our members who deal in petrol, they told us even the tax system, whereby you're supposed to clear all the taxes immediately the oil docks at Mombasa. So what does it necessitate? That you have to access easy funding or either maybe like a facility from the bank. So it is increasing their operation costs. So we are trying to engage the government to see, can you revisit the tax policy? Even the rates are so high. It's around 1,500.
But Mr. Nagenda, it is not the government increasing the prices, because we don't have a price control regime here. It is you, the traders. That is what most people would think.
Because, but the trader...
That you are the greedy ones, you are the ones who want to get a lot of profit.
The fact is, yes, there are some of our members, I think, who want to maximize profit. But even you find that the tax policy is affecting. Because a genuine trader, you decide what determines the last price of your products. Is this normal operation costs? Just imagine we accumulated areas of loan obligations, rent obligations, and others. So I don't know, maybe some are trying to see how do we try to bridge the losses. But we think it's not fair to Ugandans. We are trying to recover, and even our income.
But even the consumers, because this program tries to protect the consumer, the consumers also have loans, maybe salary loan, school fees loan. They also need to pay rent, many consumers. They also meet these costs
Sure.
that you traders say you are suffering. So why don't you then just share along the supply chain? Why do you pack the cost on the consumer?
The problem is that sharing would be okay, but when the taxes are high, there is no way you can reduce on the cost. It's just a matter of maybe weaving off some taxes so that it can harmonize the prices. You find that there is no way you can charge petrol per liter 1,500. That's too much. Leave alone.
That is tax.
Yes, tax. And then the vehicle has to pay third party, it has to pay a lot of other expenses. So we think that the tax system or tax policy should be revisited to be fair. But you see, even
the tax policy is just one of the factors. For us, as far as we are concerned, we think that the taxation system may not be responsible for the selling of fake and buying of fake products on the market. What's the relationship between the taxation and the prevalence of counterfeits on the market?
Anyway, for that is somehow tricky, but the fact is that when the tax body aims at correcting taxes or meeting its target without putting into consideration what the quality of the product being cleared, that's a challenge.
Are you saying that there is a deliberate policy?
There is that loophole.
When you bring fake products or counterfeit products,
Yes.
the customs do not reject them.
They don't reject.
They only collect taxes.
They only collect taxes. And then secondly, we have been trying to engage National Bureau of Standards and URA that why should you first collect taxes and then you transfer. They have that coordination that they can transfer the goods to the National Bureau of Standards desk. So already you see that if after clearing after going through the first process, it eases business under the table to this National Bureau of Standards desk coordinator. So the businessmen, you know that language, it can easily influence this gentleman and goods cleared. So we are trying to engage and have that joint implementation of fighting counterfeit.
So are you saying that the customs does not actually fight counterfeits at all?
No.
Whatever you bring, whatever...
They just clear and then they forward to the desk of National Bureau of Standards to check on the quality. And then that's it. So you can easily...
So even dangerous goods can come in, provided they pay taxes?
Somewhere.
Because I see sometimes they impound. Sometimes they impound, I see they have impounded, sometime I saw Revenue Authority impounded cosmetics which had hydroquinone and so on. You mean those cosmetics would have paid taxes?
Yeah, most of the time they pay, and then they can transfer you to the National Bureau of Standards desk. So it depends the person who is now clearing on the National Bureau of Standards. If someone can easily be compromised, then also they can come into the country.
But doesn't, because we're in the East African community,
yes,
there must be some system where this is looked at as one customs area, so that if the goods arrive in Mombasa, for example, or Dar es Salaam, they have also arrived in Uganda, because it's one area, if you see what I mean. And that therefore, once the goods are in Mombasa, you can actually pay taxes for them before even they arrive into Uganda. Now, doesn't that system help to detect that the good that has docked in the customs area of East Africa is actually not fit to come into the area? Can't it be stopped from there? Do you have to first reach Uganda and then UNBS checks?
The fact is that when they introduced that policy, they introduced it without...
It's called what? Single customs?
Yes,
something?
before even engaging us. So for us, we the traders were ignorant about it, so we opposed it seriously. So we had to force the government. We influenced the government to change the policy. So now you can either clear from Mombasa or you can clear from Uganda. Apart from petrol, all petroleum products, they can be cleared from Mombasa. And now the business community who deal in petroleum products, they are arguing that's increasing the operation costs, but already it's being implemented. But these other goods, you can decide to clear from Mombasa or to clear from within.
Why were you against clearing from Mombasa?
We thought that when you tour around Namamve, Ugandans have established so many bonds there and ICB. So you find that they were going to be idle. And now we have so many Ugandans who have started clearing, and now have become clearing agents. So to get to Mombasa and get space to clear goods, it's very hard. It was going to give a good opportunity to our comrades in Kenya. So
to do warehousing for you?
Yes, everything. So you find that the warehousing system in Uganda was going to
collapse.
be killed and collapse. And already these people had access to loans through Uganda Development Bank, through these commercial banks. So they had invested seriously. Even through our members, the Consolidators Association, we thought that we are also planning to establish our own. So you find that it cannot be, we cannot accept that every good is supposed to be cleared from Mombasa. And already we have
So
invested.
from the way you are talking, as chairman KACITA, Kampala City Traders Association.
Uganda now is KACITA Uganda.
Meaning what?
We registered it's KACITA Uganda because we thought that our services are needed all over the country. So when you decide to call it Kampala State Traders Association, now what about traders in Jinja, in Mbalala?
So what is your new name now?
It's KACITA Uganda.
Yeah, but
so we maintain...
Kampala is not the whole of Uganda. So do you want to call yourself Uganda Traders Association?
No, we maintain the KACITA because it's a trademark of the business community in Uganda. Whenever someone hears KACITA, you know, that's our association. So that's why we are maintaining it. And then we added Uganda.
Or because the economy, the business economy of Uganda is around Kampala.
No, mainly, you saw that's
Is that correct?
It's correct. So to cater for the other parts or regions of the country, that's why when we are registered.
So KACITA has members in Arua?
Yes, it has members in Arua.
On the border with Sudan and Congo?
Yes, and even we are going to pay visit lately. We have that schedule of visiting all our coordinators around the country. So when I became the chairman, we started with Mokono, we went to Wakiso, Then we went to Mbarara. We are planning more side of this eastern.
So you have KACITA and Mbarara as well?
Yes, we have Mbarara State Traders Association.
So KACITA is there to promote the interests of traders. You don't care about consumers.
No,
they are suffering with counterfeits. Is that correct?
What we do, we have a special desk to cater for consumers because we have a mediation task whereby if a consumer purchases a commodity from Musoke's shop and it doesn't meet value for money, you just come to KACITA. We try to see how do we mediate.
You have a return policy, really?
Yes, we have it. And by the way, it's not like
somebody will buy a cosmetic or blue band and they can
yes,
return.
you have to return because, you know, in business, there is what we call customer retention. The moment someone comes in your shop and is not contented of what the quality of the products he has bought or she, he will not come back, even he will not make referrals. So the next time you'll be seated in your shop, but you don't see customers. But the moment you win that retention, you win royalty, and then they have trust of your brand equity, for sure you'll be enjoying business. Unless you are myopic and you think that after getting this money, that's all, then you cannot retain customers.
Mr. Thaddeus Nagenda, Chairman, Kampala City Traders Association, is our guest for today. And he's talking about the need to retain the customer, to look after the interests of the customer. We're going to take a break. He should explain why it is that more and more fakes, more and more counterfeits are still being sold on the market, despite the good intentions of KACITA to ensure that you, the consumer, are safeguarded against these counterfeits. We are back with the second segment of our League of the Genuine Conversations. We are here with Mr. Thaddeus Nagenda. He's the incoming chairman of KACITA. By the way, sorry about the late chairman. We hosted him here a month or two before he passed on. But I can see you are fitting very well in Dr. Kayondo's...
I don't think so. You know, he was my mentor. I used to work with him as the Secretary General in this association, and it was so unfortunate. It was so unfortunate because we worked so closely even to fight COVID-19. Unfortunately, COVID claimed him.
Yes, so I think the only way to pay him back is to do the job even better than he did. Yes, so you are talking about, I was explaining a scenario of counterfeits increasing on the market. A lot of them are with your members, and you're saying that there is a plan, you have a scheme of customer retention to ensure that people do not lose money by buying fake products.
Sure.
So now that creates a debate. Who is responsible for promoting the counterfeits? Is it the traders or the consumers?
It's a really tricky debate because I think traders on a certain extent, and then also the consumers.
But who does the promotion first?
The promotion, I think, is a trader.
Egg, chicken.
Trader.
Who is the chicken and who is the egg?
The trader. The trader. Because personally, I used to sell counterfeit, but the way I started selling counterfeit, I was dealing in genuine products.
Which product?
Mobile phones and TVs. So later I discovered that to survive in business, I'll be outcompeted if I don't sell counterfeit. So you purchase a TV and then you rebrand it. And unfortunately, all the trademarks are in the market here in Uganda. So you can decide to
So you purchase a TV from where? Because now our viewers need to understand how the fake TVs are. I hope you stopped.
Yes, I stopped. Even you can purchase, like you can purchase them here locally or even abroad. So like in Dubai, you can purchase a brand called Star X.
Star X?
Star X. By the time you reach here, you can rebrand it Sony. It depends, and it's being
So
done.
you go and get the housing?
You go and get
Or
a
you
housing.
just get the name?
No, what they do, they are brands which you can change the brands. So they are, when they are being manufactured, they are more dynamic. That even you can use the remote. There is that specification where you can change even the name. So instead of bringing Star X, you can change to bring Sony, to display Sony when it's being switched on. And even the brands here, you can remove and put Sony. So because Sony has made a brand and people trust the brand of Sony, you find that when you bring it on the market, someone can easily buy than Star X.
But when you are clearing with customs, you clear Star X or Sony?
You can clear Star X. You can clear Star X. So you find that, but you can modify and tamper with the brand here locally. That's what dealers in counterfeits do.
So the counterfeiting, the faking of the electronics, a lot of it happens here.
Happens here.
Not from out.
It starts from out because the way even it's being designed and manufactured, it gives that room for
to be compatible.
Yes, to compart to what you wish to be. It's
so
like
that is
even
the outside.
Phones. Even it's like phones. Phones, when you see that a duplicate phone or Chinese phone for which you can rebrand to Techno or Samsung, it's being manufactured without even a name. But they can give you
it looks
stickers.
like a Techno.
Yes, they can give you stickers which you can stick on, and the codes you can place in the phone, and then it starts displaying Sony. So I think the whole process of counterfeits, it starts from the original manufacturer of that product, which is compatible to other brands. So it leaves room for counterfeit. So generally it's made to be a counterfeit.
So the original
product.
equipment manufacturer starts the business,
Yes.
makes a product
Yes.
that is nameless, that is faceless,
Yes.
and then hands over the baton to the trader,
Yes.
who now perfects the scheme by carrying the product and bring it to me as the consumer.
And by the way, when he's selling to the consumer, it tells you this is a brand new Sony phone. So someone is buying a phone at 1.5, think this is a genuine phone, but its original cost would have been like around 200. So that is being almost a thief.
That's extortionate. So what you're saying now is that the consumer, in most cases, will buy the phone believing it's a Sony.
Yes.
They will not actively participate in buying a fake because they wouldn't know.
Yeah, there is that consumer who can be cheated in that way. And there's another consumer who can come knowing that this shop, they sell counterfeits. But given the fact their prices tend to be more cheaper than the original phones, and also he wants to be like on the village that, yes, I'm also using a Sony phone. At times even gifts to friends, like a girlfriend suggests, I want a Samsung or an iPhone. So he has to see, how can I access this phone? And then I praise my comrade. So he can come and purchase a counterfeit knowingly.
So in your case, you are saying that you were involved in this selling of the counterfeit phones. So did you stop, and how did you stop, and what made you stop?
I stopped because later I discovered that I was...
Were your consumers complaining?
I was killing even my capital. They are not durable. By the time you purchase phones from Dubai and you bring them, even the whole process of even purchasing has been, it's not so easy, has been complicated. In Dubai, police is arresting and destroying those counterfeits. In China, the same story. Just imagine you have just used like around 50 million. You have already purchased the phones,
Maybe it's
as
even
you're
a loan.
trying to take them to the container, and then police grabs them, destroys them. So you are losing. The better way for business survivor, I discovered that you are supposed to sell genuine. So why did I change to start selling? One time I sold a phone, and I thought I'd got a lot of profit on this phone. The next time the gentleman came when he was very tough. Tough. So when I tried to urge out with him that I'm not the manufacturer, you know, we import this phone, the gentleman could not listen at all. So what I had to do is to change the phone. So when I complained to my supplier, I told him, okay, you bring them back, I'll change. When I transferred them back to Dubai, up to now, he has never replaced them. So
you made a loss.
So I was making a loss. Already, my customer, I'm losing
You've
my
lost the
customer. Is not contented because what he had come to buy is not what I was selling. So in order to keep that good relationship, by the way, even it forced me to make a research about relationship marketing when I was doing my master's. So because I thought that it can help us to understand business. We go into business to solve problems. Or
First of all, to provide a solution
yes.
to the market.
Yes.
But if you go and you instead harm the market, you don't give them a solution.
You worsen,
That's not
you
business.
worsen even the problem. You worsen the problem because business is supposed to solve the problem, at least with the reasonable profit. But if you are worsening the problem, then you cannot at all enjoy what we call relationship marketing. And it's a very good strategy for business survival because you provide what exactly your customer wants. So there is no way you can sell counterfeit. And now when you go into most of the dealers in electronics, I've tried to sell this. Nowadays, the Chinese who came and tried to outcompete us, they are running out of business. Because at least it's better you can sell a second hand
Why are
phone.
the Chinese running out of business? People discovered that their products are fake.
Because just imagine you can buy a cheap phone. When it gets challenges, repairing, it can be more costly than the cost of this phone. Even the spares. So the Chinese, when they were making these counterfeits, they make sure that the phone is cheaper, but the spares are so expensive. The batteries, the duration. So they have so many challenges. So when you base on an electronic device which is counterfeit, sincerely, someone has already cheated you. Even the TVs, you buy today when it has very good colors. Just after 3 months, you see now black and white. So just imagine someone has trusted you. It's a calumet, it's a virgement to buy a product from your shop. How will you go back in the village and then he says, hello,
but Chairman, there are so many consumers who don't know their rights and who, when they buy something and it blacks out in 2-3 months, they think it's a loss. Then they look for money to buy something else. What is KACITA doing to help these kind of consumers to ensure that they are not cheated by your members or other people who are unscrupulous?
No, currently we have achieved somehow. That's why we decided to set up a special desk for consumer protection.
In KACITA?
In KACITA, and we are working hand in hand with National Bureau of Standards. When we are celebrating the Standards Day, we officially launched that desk and department. And
does it have a number which you can tell the people to call? Do you have
the number, I don't have it in my head, but we have our contact at the secretariat, which maybe I will unveil at the end of the show. But we are encouraging mainly our customers, don't get scared.
To speak out.
And then by there our offices are open, and we are forcing the traders to make sure they have to, customer care. Just imagine, someone has got his money after making bricks, and then, it's not so
struggling
easy.
To make the money.
And then he finds you there at the shop, and then you cheat that person. It's very unfortunate. Secondly, what if today you have bought, and then, you have sold him those phones, and then next time he will sell you that, I think they make there is a way they tamper with the mirror. So you take also that I don't know how, diluted milk. So also they will be cheated. So when we have that joint, I don't know, perception change, that let us sell something which can meet value for money, which can help us retain our customers, which can strengthen our customer relationship. I think we can fight.
Don't you think that will require, to a large extent, a behavior change, a mindset change for the traders, for the consumers? Because there are also consumers who are always looking out for bargain. This culture of bargaining too much is also pushing counterfeits. What's your message to consumers, to traders?
Mainly, like even I had a colleague, for him what he was preferring, that it's better I buy something cheaper. By the time it's worn out, I would have got money to buy another one. So I had to convince him a lot. Just imagine a suit which is genuine. You can always wear it for years, and then which is counterfeit. By just some few days or months, when it has worn out. So it's more durable and cheaper to buy something genuine than counterfeit. I think exactly like what you are suggesting is a brilliant idea. We need to change
the mindset. But some people will buy a suit to go for a wedding. So in his mind, if he's smart at the wedding, if by the time he's leaving the wedding, the suit is torn, he has achieved his purpose. Isn't that a very narrow way of looking at things?
Sure,
it should be durable.
It's durable, so that you get value for money. And then even, what if now another comrade is wedding? What if also you have an introduction ceremony? You're having another engagement which requires a suit.
Mr. Nagenda, to what extent is this population explosion that we have driving counterfeits? For example, in 1990 we were about 17 million Ugandans. By 2020 we were 45. That's an increment of more than 100%. So we are really in the business of making babies. Is this pressure created by the population making the uptake for counterfeits easy? So the traders are cashing in, and then the consumers are desperate also to find?
I think to a certain extent it can, because you find that when there is market, red market, whatever you bring on the market can be consumed. Mainly like here in Uganda, by the way, whatever you bring here, people just consume. And even those even who are a little bit more interested on brands, they may not clearly differentiate between what is quality and then what is counterfeit. So the demand also is driving.
Pushes.
And then secondly, there is the policy of protecting the local industries. Is this boo-boo? So whereby our local industries, even they don't have capacity to meet the local demand.
So do you think, as a strategy to fight counterfeits, we may need also to control the population? Is that a factor?
I think population and business, when you control population, then you are limiting our market. We need to
But if the big population is pushing up fakes, which are also killing
I think
the population.
We need to redesign the strategy of changing mindset and educating Ugandans about the importance of buying quality products, branded products, and then avoid, and even how we can avoid counterfeit, and even designing methods how you can identify counterfeits. And then like associations like KACITA, we need to pull up our stocks to make sure that even we sensitize our members to avoid purchasing counterfeits. Why should you put counterfeits on the market? And we work hand in hand with government agencies to make sure we fight this practice.
We need to take a break. We're coming back for the third segment of this conversation. We are here with Mr. Thaddeus Nagenda, Chairman, Kampala City Traders Association of Uganda. That is what you say. Yes. We need to take a break. Yes, we're back with the third segment of our League of the Genuine Conversations. We are here with the chairman of Kampala City Traders Association. As you can imagine, he would know a thing or two about counterfeits in the business sector. Mr. Nagenda, the the issue of counterfeits has so many faces, and it is an East African problem.
Sure.
Okay, so, but there is something I notice. Uganda is a landlocked country. We are in the center.
Yes.
And a lot of the products that come into the country will go through the port of Mombasa or Dar es Salaam. But then I have seen a practice of a lot of the traders from Kenya, from Tanzania, from the countries that have access to the ports,
Yes.
coming here to buy trade goods.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it's making sense. And by the way, as KACITA, we are selling more idea to the government to see that how can it simplify the taxi regime to make sure it boosts. You know, like
But
when
just wait, simple. How does it make sense? If the product leaves Dar es Salaam, Mombasa, comes to Kampala, there is a cost for transport, insurance, it reaches here. How does it make sense for somebody to leave Eldoret and come and buy here?
You know, for us here, we don't aim at maximizing profits. We simplify the costing procedures. So you find that you can easily access a good here, a commodity which is cheaper than in Kenya.
Which is cheaper and fake or genuine?
No, it can be genuine. It can be genuine. Unless, but lately it's reducing. The practice is reducing because before the taxes here were fair. And Rwandese, Congolese could come here, and even Kenyans. But I think because of this East African system, you find that now the taxes have increased. So Rwandese prefer to go straight to Dubai. Kenyans prefer to go straight to Dubai or China. And we are trying to engage the government to see, we are losing a lot of money.
So it's the taxes that is driving them away?
Yes, it's the taxes which is driving them away. Because if now Uganda is promoting local production, we think that if the taxes are cheaper, even
then
these
you sell
neighbors
more and get more
these
money.
neighbors can easily come and buy even locally made goods here or products. But now you find that traders used to bring like over 20 containers. But it's so hard to find now a trader who can bring 20 containers, just one person.
Because of the tax?
Yeah, because of the tax. So what we do now, we squeeze ourselves just in one container. That's called consolidated. That's why even we have a different sector which handles consolidated. One container with like 20 traders. Because the demand even has reduced. But before, Tanzanians could come here, all our neighboring countries could buy.
Is it because...
So Uganda was becoming a Dubai of Africa. So people in hotels could benefit, people in taxes could benefit.
Transport, food.
Yes, food, and a lot. Even, you see, even our entertainment industry could benefit because when they come here, they could go to clubs, they could even attend some shows here. So Uganda is losing out a lot when the taxes were
So
increased.
our policy, the government policy here, you're saying is fake, really?
Yes, our policy doesn't facilitate our neighbors to come and import from here. Because before they used to come and import and purchase goods from Uganda. But now the margin has reduced. And then Rwanda had a very good strategy. We heard that the president called them and told them, now, how can we facilitate our business community in Rwanda? What do you need? We have our own airlines. If it's capital, accessing to finances, we can assist you. So their
that
capacity,
you don't come to Uganda.
Not that, but he was building their capacity as Rwandese. So they can easily now make orders from China. So now they can make orders direct from Dubai. So you find that also somewhere, somehow, is affecting.
So don't you therefore,
profits.
from the way you are lamenting, don't you therefore think that this whole East African community thing is another fake? It's not real.
For us, we don't see how we are benefiting currently as Ugandan business community, because even going to Tanzania to work in Tanzania is not easy. You just even here in Kenya, but we are having some members who have tried to invest in Kenya,
to go and work there
in Nairobi. They have opened some shops. Now they say, but business in Nairobi is better than in Kampala. So maybe also we haven't fully utilized the opportunities the East African community is creating. So that's why even lately we are going to visit Congo, but somehow we are scared of the security situation. But we wanted to go and visit and see what opportunities can be available.
But we have built roads there, so why don't you use the roads to do business?
That's what we are planning, but after stabilization and security. Because of now the war going on, we fear we cannot just rush and go to Congo. But we are planning as soon as the situation harmonizes.
Back to the subject of counterfeits. There is a practice by some of your traders. They buy expired products and come here and change the expiry dates, change the packaging. What is KACITA doing to stop that?
We're totally against such a practice. It's not
and which
ethical.
Products, by the way, are bought as expired? Can you give us some examples? Milk, whatever?
Milk, by the way, they buy them at a very cheap price.
Baby milk, or even for adults?
Even for adults. Even by the in supermarkets, they see products which are soon going to be expired and they reduce the price. It's like promotion products. So Ugandans, we want cheap things. We easily rush for those. But almost when they are expired. Just imagine as you enter most of the supermarkets where you see that special prices, special offers. When you check, those products, they are almost expired. But do people even
check the
expiry date? I don't think that they check. And these others, the traders, sometimes they try to maximize the profits by importing expired products, and then they have technique of rebranding and even remarking the expiring date. They rub off the old one and then they put a better a new expiry date. So you can buy when you analyze that this, I think it hasn't yet expired. But when you're buying an expired product, by the way, it's very unethical. We don't support it as KACITA.
But the problem it is happening illegal. Right in near your offices. We know some buildings in downtown,
but we are fighting
where people, young men, are there in the top floors of the building, down in shops, in the top floors. They are busy relabeling.
But we have been coordinating with police and National Bureau of Standards to arrest those guys who do that. We just want to sell to Ugandans. Whenever you see this illegal act being practiced, please open up, inform us.
But you are not taking any sanctions against your members that you find doing this illegal practice. They still remain your members.
No.
Why don't you ban them?
No, for us, when you are arrested in such acts, we don't renew your membership. We don't renew. Because KACITA, we don't support anything illegal. We want to harmonize business in Uganda. We want to behave more professional in business. Because there is no way we can build capacity when you are selling poison to Ugandans. Today, even I may purchase that product from the supermarket. So it's a corrective.
Your relative or your...
Yes. So it's a corrective responsibility to every Ugandan to fight counterfeit on Ugandan market.
Don't you think that the shopping arcade owners... By the way, shopping arcades is a phenomenon of 15, 20 years now.
Yes.
Don't you think shopping arcades have... made it easier to buy and sell counterfeits? I know they are convenient, but...
Sure. I think it has facilitated counterfeit. Because like a landlord, you are supposed to know what is my trader, what is my tenant selling. Because at first we had proposed to them, can they ask for a recommendation letter from KACITA? But they didn't receive it in good spirit. They thought that maybe...
The landlords.
So
in other words, it's like a certificate of good conduct.
Yes, but you can now easily go and rent anyhow. in those arcades.
So landlord should know what business you are dealing in.
Sure.
Supposing you're dealing in drugs or you're killing
Yes.
people on the premises,
No,
wouldn't landlord be liable?
Yes, it's supposed to be reliable, because why should you rent out your premises to someone who is dealing in any illegal activities? Why don't you carry out some due diligence? Because we as KACITA, we can somehow regulate our members. But if now you don't at all consider our recommendation letters, so I think there is a serious loophole which authorities should revisit.
Are you working with the UNBS, customs, police to do market sweeps, to do post-import audits? You know, because once the goods have reached the shop, the market, then we the consumers are at the mercy of the salesman in the shop. Is there increased support to go into the market to weed out and pick out these fakes?
What we had suggested with the National Bureau of Standards, let us intensify our sensitization drive to the masses and even to the business community.
That is sensitization,
yes.
Enforcement.
Then after we enforce, unfortunately, we went for those COVID-19 restrictions, but urgently we are going to resume. And then we have also serious limitation of resources. National Bureau of Standards, I think, is underfunded, whereby the government should revise this budget to make sure that the enforcement is more effective. But I think it's underfunded. We have tried to carry out more activations where even you find that it's not present. And it has a very vital role it plays in order to protect the last consumer.
But you're crying of resources. We are reputed for being very extravagant in our social functions, for example.
Sure.
These days, and a lot of you business people attend those functions. These days, a marriage, for example, it has a kuchala. You go and visit the girl's home. Like, these days, it's like a real function of 100 people, 200, 100 million is spent. Then you have the Kwanjula, the introduction, 500 people. Then you have the wedding, another 500. And then you're saying we don't have money to clean up. So don't you think, in a way, we are developing an artificial culture, okay, a social culture, touch and go, like me, that kind of culture, you know, it's an internet culture. I don't know whether I call it that. Don't you think that is also driving the situation of faking and counterfeits in the trade area? These things we do socially in our free time.
I think, yeah, it can, because you find that now, like on an introduction ceremony, you're supposed to give so many gifts,
which might be fake even.
Yes. So what now people have resorted to, they buy cheap ones. And like personally,
fake wine.
I've got kanzus, so many, but even I cannot wear them.
The moment you put
the quality is not good. So you find
you get the girl back once you've given.
No, you cannot. The belts they give out, the gomeses, I think somewhere is contributing, because someone tries to see how can I praise the people who have attended this function
by mass, not quality.
To know that this is a big man who has invested a lot, so he ends up buying counterfeit in order to make sure that the can get enough gifts, but unfortunately,
so do you think that the way we are fakely celebrating these marriages is also contributing to, the high rate of marriage breakup? Because people marry in January, by April, you ask them, they have left.
I can't say
what is causing that.
I think maybe sometimes we rush so much into relationships when we haven't very well analyzed. And
who is rushing? You, the parents, are rushing your kids to marry, or the kids are rushing?
I think the kids. Today someone meets someone at the beach, next day they have gone through an introduction. So I think we rush, but it's supposed to be a process.
But they would have met before on social media, they would be chatting and liking each other. You think social media is also...
Ugandans, we want to pretend a lot. So we want that artificial lifestyle.
Glittering.
Yes. So I don't know if I've used a better word, but someone is in a very sad mood. But when you check him on internet, He's so jolly. He's like, you know,
He's having a life of his
yes,
time.
but when it's not true. So by there also somewhere is trying to even to force people to buy counterfeit in the way that he wants to live like the other one. You know, even like musicians, when they're making videos, I saw some upcoming musician who could not afford wines. So what he did, he used to buy soda and put into the glass, and so he could be pretend like he's taking wine.
And they shot a video
yes.
sipping on wine.
But when it's soda.
And then you're buying that music.
You're buying that music. So we need...
So you buy fake music and probably do a fake dance.
A fake dance, but so we need to be more real. Let us
We need to be more real. But what is real here? We've realized that people, Ugandans, Africans, maybe people generally, they're more interested in pleasure, they're more interested in exciting things. A program like this, many people would find it boring, but this program, you are here giving us tips, you're saving life. Why are we prone to have more pleasure than serious things which save our life and save our money?
I don't know, but you are right. Most of Ugandans, they take, I don't know how they make their priorities, but you find that now, like the topic we are handling is very serious and priority. Like when we are trying to fight aflatoxins, people, they don't know the dangers of aflatoxins in food. And now, like in posho, which is largely consumed in Uganda.
In schools.
In schools. And you find that even the posho, which even being consumed in school, has aflatoxins. And even someone doesn't know what causes aflatoxins.
And what disease they cause. They cause cancer and all those things.
So I think all Ugandans have to play a very vital role in order to fight counterfeits, in order to see even how, I don't know how we make priorities, but the fact is that you find even someone to sit on the TV and watch this show, you may prefer to watch a music show. So you want easy things, but issues which
because
protect
your things are
our
stressing.
life.
You're talking about stressful things. People don't like stress.
But that's part of life. With such very educative shows, we are supposed to spare time and listen. And you know, because knowing is knowledge. And by the knowledge is gold.
And knowledge is power.
Yes.
We need to end here. We believe that counterfeits are not cheap. Counterfeits are actually expensive. As Chairman KACITA, can you make a pitch for the fact that counterfeits are expensive?
Counterfeits
as you close.
Very expensive. And by there, I was almost killing my capital when I tried to venture into counterfeit. So they have that myopic tendency that you maximize profits, but you make dead stocks. You find that when you purchase clothes, they will make dead stocks. So you cannot...
We saw it during COVID.
Yes.
When the shops were closed. When they opened, all the
most
clothes
of our traders were crying in our secretariat. You see now losses. So for business survival, we as the business community, as traders, we are ready to fight counterfeit, and we shall do whatever it takes as KACITA to discourage our traders from cheating our customers. And for sure, we shall work hand in hand to whoever is willing to fight counterfeit to make sure we provide quality products on the Ugandan market.
Thank you so much. That marks the end of this episode. We hope that you have enjoyed the show. You have learned something. This probably is the best way to spend your Friday evening, to be discussing an important subject that helps to promote your health and your wealth. We need to end here by thanking you, as always, for being ever present, for being a good audience, and for supporting this program. Remember to give us the thumbs up, to like, to share, to give that notification, to always tune in. We need to sign off by reminding you to always buy genuine, don't be fake, buy and sell genuine.